So we're off and running on this Saturday. Next up, a 4-game goal rush that will feature Burnley at second from bottom. Watford, remember, if Burnley win that and Norwich lose at Aston Villa, Norwich will be relegated. And then all eyes on the champions. Can they do their job now? They've been knocked off the top for 5 hours. Can they go back there with victory at Ellen Road? Those 3 huge games coming your way on Sunday on Matchday Live as well, and the Monday night football between Manchester United and Brentford. So at the bottom, remember, Everton will be looking at that game between Watford and Burnley we're bringing you, because if Burnley win it as well, the gap between Everton before they play Chelsea on Sunday and Burnley will be 5 points. But at the top, it is a change. It might change again, of course, and City are hoping it does with victory at Ellen Road. But for 4 or 5 hours at least, Liverpool, top of the table. They've got 4 left to play. Manchester City 5, of course, which is that game at Ellen Road later. Much more from Michael and Tim and all the reaction from St James's Park to come. The blue and white of Manchester City go later, but Liverpool are top of the table. It was only 1 goal. It was needed in the first half from an unlikely source in Naby Keita, his 4th of the season in all competitions. That was the difference, and that's all they needed.
So a gritty win, a little bit nervy because there's only 1 goal in it, but he worked hard for that, didn't you?
Yeah, worked really hard. Newcastle in a fantastic shape. They're in the top 10 now, so we knew it was going to be difficult. They've made their home form count, and we had to. Luckily, we got the goal, and then I don't think they had too many chances. To be fair, we had a couple to try and kill the game off, but all games are a wee bit nervy at this time of the season, and we're just delighted with the 3 points.
James, back on one of your old stomping grounds, man in a match performance according to our commentators. So you had opportunities to finish the game, didn't you? But you had a grip on possession throughout the game, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we controlled it well in spells. Other spells we could have controlled a bit better, but you're not going to be able to do that all the game. They've been on fire. It's a great atmosphere, as we know. They're a good team and playing well at the moment, full of confidence. So it was never going to be easy. Quick turnaround, obviously, from midweek, and games coming thick and fast. So I thought it was a good performance and stood up to a good test from them.
And did it come at you quickly at the start? Possibly because of the 5 changes, they might take advantage of that, but you soaked it up quite quickly.
Yeah, look, they've obviously had a full week to prepare. Joe Linton was causing us a couple of problems early on with the long balls, and he was managed to win most headers. I thought second half the lads were excellent against him, started winning the headers, and it made a big difference to us. So they started better than us, and then we got a foothold in the game. First goal's always crucial, managed to get it, and then I think we controlled it a bit better after that.
Yeah, Naby Keita, once that goal went in, you were in charge, really.
Yeah, it was a good finish, and it's obviously nicer to be in the lead, but 1 goal's never enough in this league. We know that, and thankfully it was today. But it's never enough to relax, and anything can happen at any time. So I thought we defended well. They caused us a few problems, and like I say, a few situations we could have done better. But this time of the season, it's all about getting that win and moving on.
Is it more satisfying than the fact that you're making these rotations and you're not dropping a point, not missing a step?
I think it helps, and obviously the position we're in, challenging on all fronts, I think it proves you need the whole squad, and we're blessed to have a great squad of players, a good mix of the younger guys coming in and pushing everybody, and obviously everybody's needed, and it's proved with every game that's coming. So we just keep that mindset the same. Next game, every 3 days, recover, go again.
Andy, 1-0's enough when you've got 35 clean sheets behind you. I mean, the defence is locked in.
Yeah, today I thought we were solid. Like I said, they didn't have many chances from what I remember. Obviously had the ball in the back of the net from an offside, but I thought the 2 centre back, I thought Joe Gomez was different class at right back as well. And like Millie said, we need everyone in the squad. We're blessed we've got everyone fit just now, maybe apart from Bobby, but a lot of us are fit and healthy and fighting for places in the starting 11. And like I said, we made 5 changes today, but everyone, man of the match, Joe Gomez, different class, Naby Keita. So it just shows that the lads are coming in and putting in big performances, and we'll need that from now to the end of the season.
And you're top, and the pressure switches elsewhere now.
Let's see how long it lasts, but we just have to win our games.
42nd win this season in all competitions for Liverpool. That is a new club record. It could still be the most historic of all seasons. But at 1-0, did you have any nerves? As those two were saying, it's not normally enough at times to win a Premier League game.
Yeah, at 1-0, you're always nervous. I mean, with 5 minutes to go, you're really nervous, just seeing it out. But that is what it's like at this stage of the season. Yeah. It matters so much. I mean, we look at the points total at the minute, and there's so little in it. You know, one little slip now, and it could be all that hard work all season, the Premier League, gone. You know, if they conceded there, you know, in the last 5 minutes, then, you know, you can't see Manchester City dropping too many points now. So that's how much it is now. It's all this hard work all year, all season is resting on tiny details. But they've got the job done, feet up now, prepare for the next one. And I'm sure they'll be hoping that Manchester City do slip up today.
We had a deep discussion about the team selection, the rotation. James Milner was one of those that came in. He's done all that. He's got a win. He's got a clean sheet, and no one will talk about that now, Tim.
Absolutely. When you win the game, you're right. You know, whatever decisions you made, vilified for every decision he's made. I think he's done the correct thing today. I mean, how can you say anything different? I mean, Milner plays a part. Naby Keita plays a part, obviously, with the solo run, with a goal, and they get maximum points. Manager's happy. He's kept everyone conditioned. I'm not sure he's resting players. I said it before the game. I'm not sure he's leaving players out just to rest them. No one wants to be rested at this stage of the season, but what he's trying to do is condition the rest of the boys to be game ready if they're required. Because the last thing you want to do is bring someone in off the bench when you need them and they're not ready to play. So I think he's preparing everything like that. It was a decision I wouldn't have made, but that's, like I said, that's why I'm sitting here and Jurgen's up there.
We talked at length as well in the comparison to Manchester City before the game about sharing goals round. Liverpool have got the highest scorers by some distance, but the likes of Naby Keita weighing in with a third league goal of the season is important, isn't it, from all areas? Very
important, yeah. Things like set pieces, you know, you're getting your defenders scoring 5 or 6 goals a year. Midfielders, Naby Keita came, and I think a lot of people saw him as a defensive midfielder when he came. He's nothing like that. He's an attacking midfielder, if anything. And he should be scoring more goals. There's a lot of players in this team, actually, especially in midfield areas, that probably should be contributing more, and they do rely on their front players. As we see him just peeling off into a great area there, I normally think Trent would be in that sort of type of area. And Joe Gomez was more of a supporting role today, making later runs, later overlaps and things like that. So a different style of play as a fullback. But he was in that position where, as I say, Trent would normally play, just backed into it, and then once he passed and followed his pass, he was cool as a cucumber in front of goal.
And just to clear that, no foul.
No foul. No foul. I mean, James plays a straight ball in there, ricochets back, Shah thinks he can go and reach it, he comes out, leaves a gaping hole. Milner gets there first and Shah kicks the bottom of Milner's foot. Obviously hurts himself, then Naby does a little solo run. I think he was so calm in front of goal there. I expected him to shoot earlier, just drags it and slides it between the two defenders. Wonderful.
1-0. We are all enjoying this race for that. 4 for Liverpool left to play, 5 for City. It's Liverpool's turn to be on top. And when we come back, we'll hope to hear from that man. Made some big calls today, and at the end of the day, they were all correct. 1-0, another 3 points, top of the league. Liverpool have done their job then. They are 2 points clear of Manchester City before the champions go to Ellen Road to face Leeds in the late game of the day. Let's see what Jurgen Klopp thought about the victory at St James's Park.
Jurgen, the huge games keep coming and coming. I mean, we all know about the quick turnaround for this one. Does that make that result and that win more satisfying?
Yeah, absolutely. It was the most difficult circumstances coming here. You can have a team in form, obviously, a crowd who was waiting for ages for proper success. Now they have it, 6 home games on the bounce, home wins on the bounce. So coming here with 5 changes and building pretty much a new setup is really difficult, and so the performance was absolutely outstanding. I have to say, I loved it. We controlled the game in so many ways. It's difficult. The only plan they had obviously was a long ball to our right side. From there they wanted to play on, but we had just some moments where it struggled because it's just difficult, but the rest we really controlled.
Yeah, you mentioned about keeping the rhythm despite the changes. You certainly did that. We could see it.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, it's the impact we have from the bench in games is outstanding. But now it's really coming from the bench before a game, pretty much, and we expect a lot. But the boys have to deliver, and it's outstanding. Joe Gomez, what a game! Naby Keita, what a game! James Milner, what a game! So I was mentioning 3. Who didn't start up front? Diogo Jota, oh my God, what a game. And then Joel Matip, of course, as well. And the other 5, 6 had to go through again. And then you see Andy Robertson, and minute 93, with a 150 miles per hour sprint going down. That's absolutely exceptional. And yeah, good.
And it's built on a defence that is just lock solid today.
Yeah, it's obviously difficult. Look, because you cannot really defend them properly, because it's just obviously it's long balls. It's like you go there, you have to fight for the ball, foul, no foul, ball drops down, they kick the ball in behind, these kind of things. It's really difficult to get a feeling for the game. So, but that's obviously not the first time that things like this happen. So I really thought we deal with it exceptionally well. We had to adapt a little bit in moments, putting Joel maybe a bit wider and Joe in the side, but the most important thing was putting Nabi in front of the challenges that he really can pick up there and all these kind of things. So it was good. It was a great atmosphere, obviously, in the stadium. Our people were outstanding. Newcastle was a pretty passionate crowd, and winning here is special.
And the spotlight now turns to Manchester City.
No. Oh God!
No,
to Villarreal. They are 2-1 down in the moment. They're playing as well at 1 o'clock. They have a BT as well, obviously there, that's what I'm interested in. Didn't think a second until now about Man City, but immediately about Villarreal.
I'm looking forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah, good. Okay, good.
So he's not thinking about Manchester City, but he certainly will be privately, won't he?
Oh, he is, but he says the right things that he isn't, of course. I mean, listen, if City continue to win, obviously they can't win the league, so he needs a favour off Manchester City. So, of course, he's going to be looking at the results. Of course, he's going to be desperate for them to slip up. And he'll be watching certain games of theirs. But I know what he's saying. The only controllable in his thing at the side at the minute is Villarreal and recovering and playing in the Champions League semi-final to try to get through to the final. So, of course, he's saying the right things because that's what he can control. But privately, he's screaming for Leeds United tonight.
Yeah, and as we mentioned at the top, you've been in this situation when winning this, playing, winning, and then what's it like? Did you try and not, if you're a Liverpool player now, not look at Ellen Road? Or?
Oh, no, 100% you're watching it. 100% you're watching it. You're cheering on Leeds. You're hoping that they can have the game of their life and the goalkeeper can pull up all the stops. The referee gives you every decision. You live it. You live it, and the emotion and the adrenaline what goes through watching the game is just as much as when you've just played. But you can only control your controllables, and that is winning their games.
If City go 2 up and you just go and walk the dog?
Oh yeah, go and play golf or go and get out of the house. You don't want to watch it, But why it still won? So City would have been glued to that, because even though they were very dominant, Liverpool, there was always that chance. There was always the referee's decision what could go your way. The 40-yard free kick, or like I say, when Bruno Guimaraes gets that ball 20 yards out, middle of the goal, he's capable of sticking it in the top corner. If he does that, the season's over. It's just impossible to claw that back at this stage of the season. So, fine margins, that's why it's so nerve-wracking. That's why it's so good to watch.
And with those changes in the squad that he's talking about there, that you quite rightly have said many times, he's never really had in his time at Liverpool, this depth at his disposal. One's already in the bank, but the 4 pots are still spinning.
They are, yeah. And he's never really got to this stage of the season with so many players and so many fit players as well. Only Firmino, really, that's not fit at the minute. It's an incredible season. We all saw what happened to Liverpool when they did have a lot of injuries and they literally capitulated. It was an awful season. But now they've got so many players fit. The competition for places is really hotting up. And, of course, going for 4 trophies. I can't... Winning it in any season is unbelievable, winning 4 trophies if they got to it. But winning it when you've got a team that are as good as Manchester City around at the same time would just blow your mind. But of course, there's a long way to go. But when you look at the amount of games, it's not that many. If they win, they've just won a load of games on the spin. If they go and win about 7 or 8 games now on the spin, they've won everything or got a great chance to win everything. So it's incredible what they're doing so far. But they've only won 1 trophy at the moment. So it's still keep your feet on the ground.
They've done their job today.